What's up, guys? Welcome back to Boost Brothers Garage. In today's episode, we are doing the unthinkable. We are painting our Porsche with tractor paint and a roller. Stay tuned. For those of you guys that are new to the channel, this is the car. 1986 Porsche 944 race car. And that's why we're doing the paint job we are, because it's a race car. So we're not as concerned about it being a show quality paint job. We've got the car all prepped and ready to go. If you want to catch up on those videos, I'll post them here and here, and you can get caught up. This is likely going to be a 2-episode series as far as the paint's concerned. We'll go ahead and get the car completely painted. You'll get to see that process as well as what it looks like as soon as it's done being painted, and then we'll come back and we'll do all the wet sanding and buffing and all of that stuff to try to get the finish to what it should be. I've done a lot of research on this process, and typically people are using Rust-Oleum, not tractor paint. We did that because A, we like the color, B, it's meant to be out in the elements. I think it's going to be a little bit stronger for us. And C, well, just because we like to be different. With that being said, it's the first time we've ever done this, so there's going to be a learning curve, and you guys are going to get to learn with us. Unfortunately, Zach is out of town right now, so all of this lies on my shoulders. I'm going to go ahead and start mixing the paint up. I'll show you guys what those ratios and everything are supposed to be per the experts. And by experts, I mean people on the internet. And then we'll start rolling on that first coat. One other thing I forgot. If this rolling business turns out to be a complete shit show, we have a plan B. $20 electric paint sprayer from Harbor Freight. We moved this party inside because there was way too much pollen and dust in the air. It's the middle of spring and got stuff flying around everywhere. Right now, I'm gonna mix everything up. The ratio that I found online was 2 parts paint, 1 1/4 part reducer, which we're using mineral spirits, and then 0.75 of hardener. All right, we're making sure this paint's mixed up really well. I'm gonna start here with 8 ounces of paint, so then we'll add 2.5 ounces of reducer and 1.5 ounces of hardener. I was told you're supposed to have the consistency of milk. This looks like it may be a hair thin to me. We'll see how it rolls, and if we need to adjust on the next coat, we will. Here goes nothing, guys. Wish me luck. That's a lot of bubbles. Pretty scary. Right now the paint has a ton of bubbles in it. It's supposed to be self-leveling. I don't know if all these bubbles will pop. If not, I think we're gonna have to sand it a lot before the next coat, which is something we were hoping wasn't gonna have to happen. I'm gonna go ahead and paint the rest of the car, and I'll show you what it looks like after 1 coat. Fingers crossed. All right, guys, the first coat is done. I think this may have been a mistake. We'll know more once this completely dries. But you can tell there's some pretty bad spots in it. I think that reducing this tractor paint was a mistake. In fact, I got pretty well all the way around the car, and then I ran out. So I mixed up a little more, and this time I didn't use any reducer. And that's what this door is, and I think it turned out better. So I think on the second coat, we'll go no reducer. Good or bad, that's where we're at. See you for coat 2. About to start the second coat. I got Thomas here to help me out this time, so that's going to be helpful. Based on how this dried, we are definitely not going to use reducer this time. Where we did use reducer, there were some fisheyes and some runs, and where we didn't use the reducer on that last door, it turned out, I think, a lot better. So, no reducer, coat 2. Thomas, what do we think of the second coat?
That's coming real nice. Real nice.
Yeah, it's really significantly better than the first one. All in all, it's night and day difference. Not using the reducer was definitely the right move. It's tacking up fast, it's covering well, it's not running anymore. Those air bubbles or solvent pop bubbles or whatever they were, they've stopped. So it looks like the reducer was probably our main issue. So don't do that. Any thoughts or pointers for application?
Yeah, so what I would say about on the first coat, obviously don't reduce it, but I think that you get a really nice thin coat down, let it tack up, and then start on your second coat. What it's proven is the first coat really is a sacrificial layer just to get something to stick. It doesn't really look bad after the second coat. It looks almost sandable as is. So
yeah, I'm shocked at
really
how much better it's turning out after the second coat.
I'm very surprised. I was skeptical, I will be honest. Being somebody who lived in a world where I was painting cars quite frequently, I didn't think that this would turn out, but I'm actually pretty thrilled. I think once we have 6 coats on here and wet sand and buff it, yeah,
it's not going to be too hateful.
No, it'll be heavier because it's going to have that whole gallon of paint. But I will say that once this is done and you sand it, it's as good as any budget paint job. Let's be honest, where else are you going to get a gallon of paint, apply it, and then get a car that's all one color and half decent, right?
Right, for less than $100.
Yeah, less than $100. It's quite amazing.
So there you have it. 2 coats down. I'm feeling a lot better about this. I'm gonna go ahead and get a 3rd done tonight for sure. Maybe a 4th, we'll see. And I'll give you guys an update in a little bit. All right, boys and girls, it is time for an update. I stayed up late last night and I ended up getting 4 coats of paint on the car. Check it out. The coverage is excellent. It is very orange peely. It actually just looks like an amateur painter painted it and got a bunch of orange peel. But all in all, pretty solid. It's got some gloss to it. Obviously that's going to come out a lot better once we can sand it down. And that's the next step. We're going to put 2 more coats of paint on it because I want to have as much material on there as possible so that we can really sand it and break through that orange peel layer and hopefully have a pretty smooth glossy finish. Zach is back in town. He should be here in about a half an hour. So I'm gonna get his first reaction to his car that I spent all weekend painting on camera, see what he thinks, and then I'm gonna make him do the last 2 coats because I'm tired. Looks like an orange. Looks like a gray orange. Can you peel this thing or what? The color's good. I mean, look at the glare off of it. That's crazy. Yeah. Overall first impressions? About what I thought. Are you excited about doing the last 2 coats? I don't know if excited would be the word, but ready to get it done. I'm ready to see it sanded at this point. Well, a decision was made and we're gonna keep it at 4 coats. I mean, this whole thing is complete trial and error. We have no idea. So all of the guides online are for Rust-Oleum. So that's why the first coat, I thinned it and did a lot of the things that I did. Since we use tractor paint, none of that really applies. So I learned a few things. If you're gonna do this with Rust-Oleum, go online and do it as they say, thin it, all of that. If you're going to use the tractor paint, which I really like this paint, I think it's going to be tough. It's going to be nice and glossy once we do sand it. Just use the hardener and that's it. And the Rust-Oleum, you have to wait like 5 to 6 hours between coats. This thing, towards the end, I was getting a coat done and it was tacked up pretty much as I finished one side of the car. I could go back to the starting point or just wait a half an hour. So you're waiting a lot less time as well.
It seems thick enough to me that it doesn't make sense to keep putting coats on.
Yeah.
Plus, if we sand through it when trying to get rid of the orange peel, we can just touch up a little paint.
With that being said, we're gonna go ahead and pull all this masking tape off. Here in the real near future, potentially our next video, we're gonna come back and we're gonna wet sand it and see what the final product actually looks like.
With the wheels powder coated and everything.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
And hopefully get some numbers on it and
See what happens here. Turned out all right. One tractor roll-on painted 944 race car. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed. Make sure you check out the next episode where we will wet sand. We'll throw the new wheels and tires on, and we'll see how this thing turns out in its final form. Should be fun. See you.